All right, folks, I want to show you a very common rig that we use for inshore fishing, and this is just going to be a popping cork setup. Now we've got braided line on our reel, so we've put a piece of leader in between our float and our braid, and that is just to keep the braid from getting wrapped around the float. Because once that braid gets wrapped around the float, you catch a fish, that wire bends, you cannot bend it back and it doesn't cast as well. So we put a little piece of leader in between that braid and the float. At the same time, if you ever wanted to throw on an artificial bait, you can just cut your float off, tie on your artificial rig, and you're ready to go. But back to the float setup, we're basically going to take a Cajun Thunder. We've got roughly 30 inches of leader. It's going to be 20-pound fluorocarbon, and we go down to a 1/0 circle hook, and we just pinch a little split shot right in the middle, definitely closer to the hook, middle to close to the hook. And one of the most important things I would suggest with float fishing is the depth of water you're in and just where to keep it. And so what I mean by that is anytime you're fishing a float, you know, say your boat's in 15 feet of water, well, maybe just keeping that float up against the grass edge. It's not going to do you as good fishing that float, keep in mind it's only got 30 inches of leader and you're fishing it in 15 feet of water. It's not going to do its job properly. It really needs to be up against the bank. And that's probably one of the most common things that I suggest, is just making sure that float is butted up against that grass edge as close as you can, maintaining that at all times. Now, the float rig is great in the summertime for early morning stuff. Now, when you get in the middle of the day, when you're fishing deeper water or warmer stuff, you might go to a Carolina rig, and that's just going to be a short leader with maybe a bigger circle hook depending on your bait, with an egg sinker. So that egg sinker is just going to sit on top of that swivel, short leader, hook, and that again is going to be kept up against the bank, but also, if you are fishing that 15 feet of water, that would be a good place to fish it as well. Thank you.